just a bloke in a bar.
Some of the things like
the Sphere,
chairs and everything.
Bro, I've seen have you seen outside the Sphere? Bro,
like, what about that, bro?
What an attraction.
I don't know what you call it. I forget the word for it, but the chairs like move with the action.
Oh, haptic feedback.
Bro.
Fuck. Just imagine it got on your balls or something. Get kicked in the nuts. Every time there's a cup shot in the like fight, it fucking jams your nuts. Mate, they want to fucking make you feel like you're in the ring. Oh, could you imagine? Everyone gets nut shot. Fucking hell.
That'd be hilarious.
I've been recording.
Hey?
I've been recording.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're going to pack her up, boys. We were just talking about the Sphere this weekend, and we were just having some unique out-of-the-box thinking to make you feel like you're at the fight. And apparently there actually are haptic feedback chairs at the Sphere for UFC this weekend. And we were saying, imagine, like, every time someone got hit in the nuts, you got hit in the nuts too.
You said you wanted to be there.
Mate, you want to make it feel real, get close to the action. That's how you do it. Don't be a fucking coward.
$2 million for the test run, just to turn everything on. It's no joke. They're not fucking around.
Mate, I haven't gone to Vegas because like I'm actually not that big a fan of Vegas, to be honest. Like it's not like I dislike it, but like when I was there recently, I just frothed the fights. Like going with No Limit with KO, it was incredible. Like I just frothed seeing the boxes and that. But the actual Vegas for me at this age, like because I've like partied and everything, I don't really do that much anymore. So it's like, yeah, it's not really like there's not much to do. Like I remember going to the security guard and there was this like trail that I wanted to go on a run. And he was like looking at me weird because I was like, oh, it's like red trail that's like 40 minutes away. He's like, you sure you want to go there? Because we're at a casino. I was like, well, fuck, like there's nothing else to do. Because once you see the strip, like you can go to guns and that, which I probably should have organised a little bit better. Anyway, when you actually go there and you can go the tram, like monorail, sorry?
Monorail.
You go the monorail and it takes you past the dome. And the first time you see the dome, it is just like, it looks like computerized. It looks like it's been placed, like you're looking at a movie screen. It's been placed there in the middle of nowhere.
I remember I went there early days when it first came out. I flew in and it had, the big yellow face it had on there.
Yeah, like an emoji kind of thing.
Up at you
yeah,
and that. I was
bro.
like, wig me out.
Yeah, and then it has like all different ones, like with hair shaking and that.
Yeah.
Mate, it's incredible. It's incredible. When you talk about like, I know the locals probably hate it because it's this big like in your face, you can't miss it. But from a tourist perspective, like it's mad.
What?
Like mad. I'd love to go in there. So yeah, this weekend the UFC, I can't wait, man. Geez, the UFC do it well.
Like the next run, like the next month is wild.
Yeah, hectic. So actually, we'll start covering more of that stuff, guys, in all the podcasts. We'll start leaning a bit more into boxing, a bit more into MMA. Obviously, we'll learn a bit more about cricket. I'm going to do some racing in this off season as well, as in, go to some races and that. So stay tuned for that. Also, make sure like and subscribe on Apple and Spotify. Sorry, like and subscribe on YouTube. Also subscribe to us on Apple and Spotify and leave us a nice review or leave us a comment on YouTube. Like the video on YouTube, it really does help. And thank you to everyone that has so far. And also, do not forget, Monday, 6 p.m, we hope to turn your frown upside down. Set your alarms, be on our Instagram or Facebook. The launch of something new. It's been a lot of work this week, especially just building. And I'm getting more nervous because you put your heart and soul into it. And with what I've done, it's all my idea. So, you shouldn't with a business. Like, for example, when people say they don't like bloke beer, I've gotten used to it now. But when I started, it was almost like hurt my feelings because that's a representation of me. Yeah. Now, granted, like they don't see it like that. They just see it as a beer. And so you're just like, yeah, of course. Gotten used to it now. But you put so much effort into it and you think about it like all the time. So it's finally coming. It's finally upon us. Monday, 6 p.m. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a bit of fun. But should be good. Sandor, how you been, bros?
Good, brother. Good. I'm excited for you. When was the last time you reckon you felt like that little buzz?
Launching bloke.
Yeah.
Launching bloke, really. Like, it's crazy. And just the investment that has gone into it and, because like the thing is when you own a business, like when you work for someone, you rock up and you just kind of get your paycheck. Whereas when you own a business and your work generates the revenue, all your work, you're seeing where the money goes. So for example, like every time I work and I get this sponsor or we get this amount of money, that's going towards building something new.
Yeah.
And so it's just this really unique feeling of you've worked all these extra hours to build up this money to be able to invest in this, to be able to, you know, build something else up. Whereas you don't really feel that as an employee. You're just kind of rolling in. You don't know where the money goes. And so that's the unique feeling too, like all this hard work and all this money that you sit there and go, could have gone elsewhere, and, you know, all those extra hours, you know, that I wish I was at home or whatever. You know, it's a lot of sacrifice. So, hopefully it works out.
Those milestone moments are cool too, because it's always, it never hits until you get there. So it's like you finally get to reflect on all the work you did to get there. And it's like, Speaking of something new, I'm very deep into my commitment to a potential pickleball career, mate.
What?
I've been exposed.
Okay, what's going on?
I've been exposed to pickleball.
Okay, I didn't even know what pickleball is. Walk us through it.
It's fucking unreal.
What is it?
So basically, do you like tennis?
Like, I mean...
Like, you like to play it?
I don't dislike it.
Yeah. Do you like to play it, though? Have a muck around?
Oh, like, if it's there, I'll do it. But I haven't played that much of it.
The thing about tennis is, right, if you play someone too good, it's basically, it's
You're getting
shit. It's
up.
not fun.
Yep.
I can't serve, so straight away I'm behind the 8 ball.
Yep.
I can move around the court, but pickleball takes it back to like square one. Anyone can play it. So it's on a smaller court, much smaller court. It's with a paddle. It's like table tennis, cross tennis.
Okay.
And the ball's different. It sort of bounces. But, mate, I played one game and I was like, this is fucking mad. I'm Googling like
pickleball,
carbon fiber rackets. I'm in.
Oh,
I'm all in. Bro, it's fucking
really?
It's huge over in America, but it's starting to come here. But, yeah, the thing about it is it just... Like the skill level, you still have to be good, obviously, if I verse someone good, but it brings it down. It's very playable, very fun. The rules are like
if you're
volleyball.
athletic and can move, you should be okay.
It's cracking.
Whereas tennis, you've actually got to have mad skill set.
The skill level needs to be a lot higher to be competitive and have fun.
Wow. Okay. Pickleball.
So
what about the name pickleball?
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from. I think it's an American thing.
Yep.
But
sounds American.
That's also my rabbit hole on Instagram, because I'm following all these pages looking for tips and hints. I'm in.
No way.
I needed advice. You're
the second person in 3 days that I've heard who's taken up pickleball in the last few weeks. Like, I can't believe you just said that, because I was having this conversation with Timmy's brother on Tuesday. Like, it's crazy. You're right. But like, he said the exact same thing, how big it is in America, and it's just
crazy.
It's just, it's coming here.
Really? So, okay, watch out pickleball. Any pickleball connoisseurs, let us know. Oh, is there any goats in pickleball that you've been like?
No goats yet, but I heard, I've spoken to a few people, a lot of tennis, like decent tennis players are converting over. Yeah, because you know America, once something kicks off, it's big money. It's like the gamers over there. You know how now they've got these crazy comps, Bitcoin.
Yep.
So it's kicking off. It might be an Olympic sport. I might make another run. You never know.
Oh, could you imagine? Pickleball sponsored by Bloke. Just a little pickleball session. That's crazy. That's
Mad Bloke paddle.
It's weird how like certain sports took off and certain sports didn't. You know, and who would have thought, for example, MMA would be the juggernaut that it is today. When you go back and watch some of those early fights, like dudes had like one glove on, and like, you know, there was always the age. It's just like a different world.
And you had no weight classes, so people versus anyone.
Yep.
You could punch in the nuts.
Oh,
everything.
Well, that's why they got the haptic feedback.
That's right. Bringing it back.
Yeah. That's crazy. Speaking of gaming, I've just gotten heavy. I don't know what it is this last week, because I actually haven't gamed that much in a very long time. I'm fully back in and I'm loving it. I don't know what has happened. It's like something in my brain has clicked back into gear.
Are you a sports gamer or shooting gamer?
Well, anything, really, anything I enjoy. But it's weird because like for like 10 years, every now and then, randomly, I might be able to game a little bit. But just recently, just clicked. I don't know what it is. And playing a game called Space Marine 2. Unbelievable. Such a good game.
I'm going the other way, bros. I cleaned out the garage, put the PlayStation 4 up on Facebook Marketplace.
Old school. Oh, no, you're getting rid of it.
Yeah, I just chucked it up there for 200. Well, my missus has done it for me, and about 75 people have just attacked her. Like, when can I come over? I'm in the area.
No way.
I thought it'd just be dead and buried, but it's still very
gaming. But yeah, I'm hooked. And there's other game called like Wukong or something like that. That's mad. Got some mad games coming out. I don't know. As I said, like something in my brain has just clicked, and I'm just in the mode to play video games. Like so much so that I'm almost like rushing through. So when I get home, I'll like make sure I go and exercise. Before, like even just 2 weeks ago, I would just cruise through the exercise. It would just be like, get through it. Yep. nothing else is going on, so take your time. Whereas now I'm trying to get through it so I can go back and play. So I don't know what it is.
Surely you were mad on FIFA back in the day.
Nah, I've always see like those games you're mentioning are like mainstream games, whereas like the games I play are full on neckbeard nerd games. So yeah, I'm a full on deep into the scene. So we're talking about like World of Warcraft and shit like that.
Yeah, right.
Harder, like bro. Growing up for me, I was a massive nerd, 100%. Because that's the only friends I had was online. That's why I liked the internet, because you didn't matter who you were, where you come from, whatever. It just everyone was equal, and you just enjoyed something together. And the internet was a way different place back then.
Bro.
Like a way different place. It was a very concentrated kind of portion of the population that were all nerds, because like just nerds were on the internet.
Bro, when I was on your computer.
Bro, when I was coming through footy, if you said you play video games, you're getting hammered.
Yeah.
Like we'll put it this way, I was the only one in my entire squad that played video games in footy. Yeah, mate, 100%. Now it's like everyone does.
Yeah.
But back in the day, you were a weirdo. But put it this way, growing up, if you said you played video games, people would be like, you're a weirdo.
Yeah, right.
So, bro, I'm telling you right now, there's gamers that are listening to this right now that are my age. They'll tell you, growing up, it used to be a dirty little secret that you play video games. Swear to God. And it sounds fucking weird. I promise you it's truth. Promise you. But yeah, I'm back in that mode now. So while I'm doing work now, I'm thinking about, I can't wait to get home. So that's happening. Also, what else is happening for me? The Weeknd. Brand new single dropping at 2:00 today.
Oh.
Dancing in the Flames. Now
all right.
I don't know why he did it. Look, I respect the artist, so I respect the artist. Good. He's so fucking good. I'm
intrigued to see what music's going to come out from
mate,
him,
it's a third album in a trilogy, but I respect the artist, but I don't know how I feel about it, because what he did was he did this huge concert in Sao Paulo, I hope I'm saying that right, in Brazil, and he like played about 5 of his songs off the new album at the concert. And I'm torn, because I wanted to experience the new songs just like first time you listen to the album.
Did you listen to those songs?
Well, I didn't know. I listened to the concert and they just come on. I didn't know that he was going to do that.
You like them?
Yeah, they're mad. Yeah. Of course, it's a Weeknd bus. Come on. But like, I'm now a bit torn, because I like the experience of that first pressing play on an album. And so much so, there's a new trend on albums where they don't tell you what the features are. It just says the songs.
Yeah,
I love that shit. And so now I'm like, I've been robbed of like 5 songs that I wouldn't have heard before.
I appreciate that he played for the concert. I don't appreciate that you were able to watch it. So if you were there, like, I love that, and he's given like, hey, if you're here,
exactly,
you get a taste.
But this is on YouTube, and it was and it was the only concert that so why I say I respect the artist, he's clearly done that intentionally as the rollout for his album. So that's how he wants us to hear him. That's how he wants us to hear him. But as I said, I'm torn, because I'm like, shit, I love that moment of going, the album's out. I mean, you can back this up, Matty, I'm sure, with the like Eminem album or whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
I mean, as we know, like, I sat in a car for the whole hour, listened through it, top to bottom.
That's what I mean. That
feeling. There's no other way.
And you don't know what song's coming up. You don't know what they're going to sound like. You don't know what the vibe's like. So I'm a bit torn about the rollout. However, I trust the man. Now, look, we haven't actually got anyone. I actually begged last week. I was like, listen, because like I know, was it?
It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago. So about 6 months ago, we put something out into the ether, and it came back to us in big ways, and we can't say what it was yet. No one knows it for me and Matty. We will announce that when it does come out. It's either later this year or early next year, most likely early next year. And so we put something out into the ether that came back in a big way. And so 2 weeks ago, we tried to do it again by saying, listen, if there's anyone at Sony, or anyone that knows anyone at Sony, or whoever is bringing the Weeknd out to this concert, if I could just get backstage or whatever, somehow, some way, I was like, I'll advertise whatever concert you want on the podcast. You know, hundreds of thousands of people every week. We didn't get any nibbles, which is disappointing. However, we did get an email from. We did get an email. I don't know. Should I say the band? Because they're a huge band. Yeah, give them some love. Yeah. Parkway Drive. Parkway Drive. The guitarist is a big bloke fan. Yeah, and so nice. Parkway Drive reached out. So shout out Parkway Drive. We're still working on my schedule on that later in the year. So shout out Parkway Drive. We appreciate it, and we'll try and get down there. It's not necessarily my kind of music. However, as I get older, I find myself more open to more songs, to more genres. So much so, I was into hard trance a few months ago. Hard trance. Talk me through that. What happened is that I was struggling to get up for the gym and run. And so I was like, you know what? I just need to listen to some fucking hectic music. and then Trance just got in my veins. Boiler Room on YouTube.
Oh, Boiler Room.
Let it go. Yeah.
I tell you what's funny. When Luke Kirkpatrick's the guitarist, when he emailed me, I was like, fuck, Parkway Drive, that's hectic. But when I told my missus, she nearly fainted.
Oh, really?
She loves them. And
well, if your missus loves them, we'll try and get there.
Well, yeah, but it's next week. And we're in Greece.
Yeah, okay. Damn, that sucks.
Not the worst trade-off.
Yeah, it's not a bad trade-off.
But it sucks.
But maybe next time.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, thanks to the boys for reaching out. We really appreciate that. And I'm definitely going to try and get down there. I'm just frustrated that you can't go because we can't go together.
I know.
And the last thing that we put out in the universe, we went together.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like going against the universe if I don't take Matty along with us. I'm
not complaining. Maybe, next time they come around, hopefully.
But yeah, appreciate it. And shout out to the boys. Alrighty, don't forget, guys, Sportsbet feed. The bloke multi this week is Crichton anytime, running at Cleary, back from injury. Mulatalo anytime. Shark left equals elite / Storm right has let them down a bit this year. Kalen Ponga anytime, back in North Queensland. Turbo anytime, looking for 8 straight games with a try versus the Dogs. So we're going Crichton anytime, Mulatalo anytime, Kalen Ponga anytime, Turbo anytime. That's getting you $43.
I love that, eh?
That is value.
Are you one of the juiciest?
Like Crichton, Mulatalo, KP, Turbo, like all 4 of those people would be nearly the most likely to score, or at least in the top 4 of each side.
Anytime too.
Anytime. And it's getting you 43.
I'm jumping on that.
So that's the bloke multi on Sportsbet. You go to more feed, settings, more feed, and then just give us a follow and you can copy it. And yeah, give us a follow on the feed as well. And also a massive thank you to Sportsbet. But how's the algorithms been going, boys? Pickleball algorithm?
Yeah, pickleball. It's almost now in reflection. It's almost too much. I've gone too far down the rabbit hole. But definitely very UFC boxing heavy this week. Got the I think is it Mexican Independence Day?
This week, yeah. Cinco de Mayo or whatever it's called.
Got the Nacho UFC card, which would be gangster, and then Canelo's fighting as well versus that young lad. So always keen to see
how much
Canelo
combat
fight.
sport is there?
Oh, bro,
Jesus.
It's the
It's
best.
just gone to another level, and the card after it is insane. Like it's so stacked, but yeah, so that'll be good. Feed up on the weekend watching that. See all that unfold.
My algorithm been a bit of Kendrick Lamar.
Oh yeah,
releasing a new song, Black Air Forces. I think it's called Dear God, or like When the Party Died or whatever. And it's basically he's rolling out so he got announced for a Super Bowl. He's going to host the Super Bowl 2025. And there's been this huge drama around it because it's in New Orleans, and a lot of people wanted Lil Wayne to be there because he's from New Orleans. However, it's very like a lot of politics because obviously, so Jay-Z, he like helps oversee the Super Bowl. It's not just him; it's actually the host city that makes the decision of who plays there. But a lot of people are blowing up because Lil Wayne, he has said he wanted to do Super Bowl and it's in his hometown. However, like for the last 20 years, the artist most of the time hasn't been from the hometown. But the reason why it's a blow up is because Kendrick is on one side and Lil Wayne and like Birdman and Drake are on the other side, and people think Jay-Z has an issue with like the Birdman, Lil Wayne, Drake side. And so it's like this Kendrick versus Drake thing still. And so people are frustrated, like annoyed that Lil Wayne didn't get selected. But I don't understand.
There's always controversy around the Super Bowl.
Yeah, who gets selected or whatever.
It's a big deal.
But that's been in my algorithm. And then so there's been this running kind of theme with the Drake-Kendrick beef where Drake has been like putting up like all these memes. It's so cringe about like round two as if to say like, I'm going to win round 2. And anyway, so Kendrick in his announcement said, look, there's no round 2s. But he said it in a way that he was talking about NFL, but in a subtle message to like, bro, round 2, what do you mean? You got absolutely demolished. Like, what are you talking about? And so he released a song, Kendrick, basically saying like, I'm going at the whole industry. Like, but some people have taken it as another diss to Drake, but it's not. It's about him going at the industry, and it's a rollout to his next album, and I cannot wait for his next album.
Oh yeah, I'm similar. I'm all over Kendrick at the moment. I'm so pumped that he got the Super Bowl, and like just on like I respect and love Lil Wayne, but Kendrick live would be so much better.
Wayne,
and right now the timing of Kendrick, like
yeah.
And also, it was in 2013. It was in New Orleans, and no one cared that Lil Wayne wasn't there back then.
Yeah.
And also, what's crazy is like, there's only been like one time max 2 where someone from the place that the Super Bowl is on has performed, and that was Dr. Dre. But he actually just brought out a bunch of people that weren't from LA. And so for the other 20 years, it's just whoever gets selected by the host city. And also, like, have you watched? If you watch Lil Wayne's one of his most recent performances, like WrestleMania, like he's forgetting the words in that.
Yeah,
like,
he's not that great live. I've seen him live.
He's one of the goats.
One of the goats. Yeah.
He's one of the goats, no doubt. But he's just live performance. It's a Super Bowl. Like Lil Wayne, even at his peak, isn't as good from an art perspective as Kendrick Lamar live. Now, if you want to compare catalogs, there's an argument to be made. Lil Wayne's catalog is as good or better than Kendrick's in regards to like pop. And what I mean by pop is like it's still hip hop, but the amount of people that like club bangers, Kendrick Lamar is obviously a little bit more introspective with his stuff and, you know, more serious. But so like Lil Wayne's catalog is like almost unrivaled. Like if you had a versus, mate, he could go with pretty much anyone. But yeah, from a performance perspective, I don't understand why all of it. Like the only reason that there's this huge kerfuffle about Lil Wayne hosting it is because of the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef, and there's so much politics going on about like people that are on Drake's side, they just want to, whatever Kendrick does, they just want to hate on it, kind of thing.
It's annoying, but Kendrick live, like
crazy.
He's in the top 2 concerts I've been to, like choreography wise. Like Coldplay was right up there, like they were amazing.
It's like a show. It's an actual show.
It's crazy. Yeah,
like a full on theme with a show. Like, you know, it's got a deeper message than him just singing songs. So you're not just sitting there watching Kendrick Lamar, you know, recite his song in front of a bunch of people. There's a deeper meaning that goes throughout the whole thing. Like, yeah. So anyway, I'm stoked for Kendrick Lamar. Perfect timing, and again, it all leans back to the Drake beef, because in the song that kicked off the beef, which was First Person Shooter, essentially anyway. One of the lines is, Drake says, big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl. Like, so he's saying that him and J. Cole are as big as the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
And so Kendrick is saying, yeah, you're saying you're as big as the Super Bowl. I'm actually performing at the Super Bowl. So it's
great.
It's a weird time in hip hop, because this beef that should have ended months ago, it is just lingering.
It's bubbling
What do you do
along.
with your Drake? Like, do you just keep fighting, or like?
Well, I don't like his tactics.
It's sad.
What he's doing at the moment, so he's got this like fake Instagram. He's like leaking all these songs to try and like what he does is he leaks songs to see if they hit. Then he puts him on the Spotify. They haven't been making the top 10, top 20. They've been flopping. Yeah. I think he needs to just look. You've done your dash. Go away and create a hectic body of work, and then come back. Because look, yes, he uses ghostwriters, all that kind of stuff. Yes, he essentially is a pop star. However, he is still extremely talented, Drake. Like, there's no denying that. No. He makes good music. And I just think he needs to, go away and do that. But I don't know. Anyway, it's sucking. In hip-hop, it's bizarre because it's sucking all the life out of everything else, all the drops and that. But cannot wait for the Super Bowl. It's going to be so good. Finals footy is here. Panthers v Roosters, Bluebet Stadium. What do you reckon, boys? How you feeling?
I mean, going to be hard to beat the Panthers. It's going to be an interesting game. It's unfortunate. We were talking about the Roosters, say, a month ago. It's unfortunate where they're at right now, because I do genuinely think they were going to make a run for a couple of upsets, but I just think Penrith are going to be too strong.
Mate, if they were full strength, I reckon I'd almost tip them.
Yeah, I agree.
The longer this week's gone, the more doubts I'm getting about. Like, I thought Penrith were going to shit in at the start of the week. I'm still tipping Penrith, but I don't know.
I'm the opposite. I was doubting Penrith at the start of the week. The closer I get to the game, I'm like, you know what? Like, bro, think about it. They finished second again.
Yeah.
And like,
you can't write them off.
They've barely gotten anywhere close to how good they can play this year. And I just reckon, like, imagine if you'd been at a club and you'd won 3 premierships, been in 4 grand finals, like getting up for club games towards the back end of the year. Like, you'd just be like,
yeah, it's a good point.
Like, you just wouldn't give a fuck.
It's go time.
Yeah, whereas now it's go time. So they've got, like, when you've won 3 premierships, you don't give a shit about normal games anymore. It's like,
true.
And so I just reckon that this finals, will they hit the heights of, the last few years? Maybe not, but I do think they've got at least 2 big games in them, Penrith. At least 2. I'd be very surprised if they just go out. Like,
no.
Oh, yeah, nah. No. They're not going to go straight sets. Mine was coming more from a Roosters perspective.
Yeah.
I was when they got all those injuries, I'm like, they're gone, they're done. But then, as times progress, I'm like, they still got a really, really good team.
A hectic squad.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. But
yeah, I think a real competitive game.
Yeah, I got Penrith just.
I think with the Roosters as well, like, even though they've got injuries to key players, if they lose, let's say they lose against Penrith and they go out in straight sets, I still reckon that's, like, I do think Robinson is protected by the fact that he had crazy injuries in key areas, but I don't think it's a good look. That roster is still freaking good.
Yep.
And it's been like, 5 years now, 6 years. They go straight sets again. That means they essentially haven't fired a shot in 5 years. Like, I understand key, injuries in key areas, but like, it's still not great. Like, Robbo's a better coach than that, in my opinion.
Yep.
So
they haven't made a prelim since they made the GF.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Robbo's a better coach than that. Don't get me wrong, they've been smashed with injury for the last 5 years, but at some point you got to go, what's happening here? Yeah. Like, what do we need to change? Yeah, what do we need to change? And also, and look, granted, Robbo has done that this year, which I've been such a big fan of. Like, he came out at the end of last year and said, we're changing it up. We're going to have a great year. We're going to finish, higher up. We're not going to wait to make our run late in the season. And he did exactly that. And I'm really disappointed the fact that they did get injuries, because like, I wanted to see Robbo with a top 4 finish with a relatively fresh roster. If they got 1 or 2 injuries, you can't. Everyone has injuries in key. But the problem now, they don't have that. They've got a top 4 finish. They literally, like, they could have lost a front rower, an edge back rower, but they happened to lose a fucking number 9 and a number 7.
Half their spine.
Like, far out. The two, like, even if you went a number 9, an edge back rower and a front rower, you could still their team has got so much depth that I don't even consider that much of a disadvantage compared to other teams on paper. But it's just
2 ACLs in your spine. When does that happen?
Yeah, fuck.
When does that happen?
Well, you know what? It happens to the Roosters. It's happened like 4 out of the 5 years.
Times, yeah.
They've had 2 ACL done in the same game.
Same game. Yep.
I mean, there's no doubt they'd be reflecting on this multiple times, but there's got to be some sort of discussion around.
Well, they have. They reckon they've spent so much money trying to research why do these ACLs keep happening at our club, and they just can't. Just nothing is indicating as to why. But just something, like, I don't know, something. The chances are so small.
No.
Like, far out. So, like, I know it sounds funny because it's the Roosters. Everyone likes to put shit on, but I can't, like, this year especially, I do feel a bit sorry for them that, like, this happened right now. Like,
yeah. Yep.
I was excited those specific to see players. What they could do in the finals.
100%. As I said, I know a lot of people, a lot of fans, because they're the Roosters, they're the glamour club, they got all this money, their roster's incredible. You never want to feel sorry for them, but it's like, fuck. Like, look, just one of them going down, the 9 or the 7, you'd go, sweet. But your 9 and your 7? Like, imagine if the Storm, Grant goes down, Hughes goes down.
No.
Like, they're gone. Season's done.
Yeah.
Season's done. However, the Roosters have the luxury of having essentially an international side.
You know what? That is a good point. If it was pretty much any other team,
if you make that comparison,
they're sitting on top of the Roosters.
The only one that could maybe cop it is maybe the Panthers with Luai goes to 7, and then Mitch Kenny could potentially be replaced.
Yep.
Outside of that, everyone's gone.
Everyone's gone.
Like Bradley and Hines gone. Storm, Penrith, who came 3rd.
The fact that we're even talking about Roosters could be a chance with that happening is significant.
It's crazy. It just shows you how strong their roster is.
Yeah.
So, you've got Hines goes and Bradley goes. They're gone. 5th place was...
Cowboys, sorry.
So, if you had Robson and Clifford go, you could probably get by with Dearden maybe because he's so dominant. But, like, let's say if you just went their best 2 players, which were Walker and Cheese.
Yeah.
If you just took the 2 best players out of every spine, I mean, Teddy, you could argue is best player, but like if you went Robson, Dearden, they're gone.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Bulldogs, if you went Marnie, Sexton, gone.
Definitely gone.
If Knights, if you went... Well, Knights are different. It's all Caleb Ponga. It's all Caleb Ponga. Manly, if you went DCE and Croker, gone.
Also, Manly kind of like Knights with Turbo.
Yeah.
So... yeah, you're right. Roosters they do have a luxury, and I don't think they're out. I definitely don't.
I think that they'll cause. I reckon they'll at least win one game in the final series. And I think that even with those injuries, if they lose both games and straight out, I do think that's extremely disappointing.
Because they'll play the winner of... Sorry, if they lose tonight, they'll play the winner of Manly Bulldogs.
And they should be able to beat one of those sides.
For sure.
Surely, even with those injuries, with that roster, like when you compare the Manly forward pack to the Roosters forward pack, like it's not even close on paper.
On paper, it's not.
So interesting. Look, I just reckon with Cleary coming back, it's week 1 of the finals. We might see a red hot Panthers side, at least 2 games. I do think that there may be a chance they get to that 3rd game and they just run out of steam. Mate, if they make another grand final,
that's crazy. It's
there's every chance,
and there's every chance they do it.
Yeah,
just insane.
That's why I was kind of. I mean, I'm not saying it's on lock, Melbourne and Panthers, but I was kind of excited for someone like a big contender to just throw a bit of a spanner in the works.
Oh, 100%. Well, I reckon Cowboys are that team. Cowboys and Sharks, I reckon, can be a spanner in the works.
Yeah.
Yep.
I reckon, especially Cowboys, because we all know Cowboys at their best can beat any team. It's just about, can they play 4 good games?
If Cowboys come out and do something like dominant this week,
that's what I mean.
I'm really excited.
Because let's say they go bang, they smack Knights, and then who would they play next?
So they'd play Sharks or Storm.
Sharks or Storm. Most likely Sharks. Cowboys could smack Sharks.
Yeah, there's every reason why Cowboys this weekend too.
Cowboys have a good history against Sharks in finals games.
Yeah, they devastated them 2 years
Recently,
ago.
Yeah. It's just, you're right though. They haven't put 4 games together all year. So if they can, they're such a good team. A one-off game, they're such a good team.
What was the year where they just made it absolutely
17.
That was ridiculous.
They were literally on Mad Monday essentially, and then a result went their way, and they just went fucking boom. Without Thurston and Matt Scott, I think as well. That was crazy. That was crazy that year.
They had Ponga that year as well, but they didn't. I think they played him like 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, because Coot was the
fullback.
Then. Yeah, and Coot was really good in that year as well.
Oh yeah, Coot was gunning like 50. Yeah.
Storm v Sharks. I am so torn on this game, not because of I think Storm will win, but I want Sharks to win. But I also really like the Storm too. You know, it's Storm. I just Hughes has got the hot hand. I want to see him kill it. But I also want Sharks to get the monkey off their back. So I'm really torn here on what I want to happen. Because, if Sharks lose, then the headlines start and then they head into next week. And I don't want to see Sharks go out in straight sets. I just want to get them one final win so they can just go, yep, we're all good now. Heading into the future, we've got that final win. There's no more... Not only have we got that final win, we beat a bunch of top 8 sides this year. All the yarn around us not being a big game team, we've sorted that out. However, I really like the players in the Storm side. I like Grant. I like the players in the Shark side too. But Grant, Hughes, Munster, Pappy, they're superstars. They're superstars.
I want Sharks to win. But the problem is, every time I think that the Storm are going to lose a game, they end up smacking it the next week.
Think they're going to lose?
Nah, I reckon Storm will win, but I reckon it'll be tight. I reckon it'll be tight.
You know what's crazy? I was looking the other day. Do you know Pappenhausen has easily the most Instagram followers out of all the swine in Storm? By a lot. This is
right.
I'll show you. By a lot. I'll show you. And that's why not the reason why, but I'm such a fan of Pappy because that's so smart of him to be able to build up his... So, okay, he has 232,000 followers on Instagram.
Jeez. What's Munster got?
Okay, I'll show you.
That's...
Okay, just stay with me. Stay with me. How much do you reckon Munster has?
It'd have to be 150.
184. Yeah, so he has 50,000 more than Cameron Munster.
When he was on and that mullet craze hit, he just captured
Killed
every
it.
kid
He was the
all
man,
over
Yeah.
It went crazy.
Harry Grant, 109. And Hughes is obviously further down.
Pappy's Instagram game is good, though. He's got a quote every third tile. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
It's an aesthetically looking Instagram page.
But, I was stoked for him. Good on ya. That's so smart. I know, he's already earning really good coin, but you finish your career with 232,000 followers, you are essentially set in regards to as long as you keep building on that. But you can get heaps of gigs. There's so many things that you could do whereas you finish with 20 or 30,000, although that's still good. You're not as nowhere near as kind of set per se.
He gets it too. He understands the game. He's very personal brand minded.
But did you expect Pappy to have that much more followers than all those boys?
If I had to guess, I probably would have.
I would have gone on Munster.
Thought Munster had more.
For sure, Munster. But this game on the weekend, as I said, I'm so torn. I really like both teams. Likeable characters. I'm such a fan of Nico. I really like Nico as a bloke and as a player.
I hope he has just a gun game.
I hope he kills it. You know what? Like, in a perfect world, this is what I hope happens. Nico has the match-winning play. Then the Storm go and play whoever and towel them up, and they go through as well. Because then I just want Nico to have his moment, because I'm so sick to death of the negative comments around Nico. Like, he hasn't done anything wrong. I don't get it. Just like, it's just cool to hate. Cool to hate.
Yeah.
Once you get stuck with that tag,
Yeah, well, it's just, once you get stuck with and it's typical, like, what happens is you become the NRL's darling, and initially everyone enjoys it, and then people get to the point where it makes them angry that everyone loves that player. You know what's crazy? I even started to see it a little bit with Critter this year.
Yep.
Yeah,
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, Critter at the start of the year in Midway was the most loved. You couldn't. And then towards the end of the year, I started seeing comments going, all you do is talk up Critter and you fucking love him. It's so overrated. And it's just like, bro, the players don't write these articles about themselves. Yeah. Like, they have nothing to do with it.
They're just last week, bro, and it was funny that seed was planted in my head. I was watching the game, and then Serraldo was talking up about his leadership this week, and then obviously not a great outcome, but I can just see, even with all that chat, it's round the corner that they just start to turn.
It's same, Penrith Panther come in, we all love them. Young, boisterous, swag, they're cool, they're different. 2 years in, boom, now they're arrogant, now they're cocky. It's
I've started to see some Bulldogs chat as well.
Yeah.
Some negative Bulldogs chat, especially on Twitter.
Yeah.
Need to get off Twitter.
And that's only been not even a year.
Yeah.
And they haven't even really, they made the finals. So anyway.
These clubs to do well. A strong Bulldogs team. Look at Sydney lights up. There's a lot of Bulldogs fans.
Yeah, mate, 100%.
And they've done well to come from where they did the start of the year. It's a nice story. I think they go above and beyond next year, definitely on what they would achieve this year. Yeah,
I reckon the Doggies have just run out of steam a little bit. It's been such a big year. Look, I would love nothing more than the Dogs to come out and upset Manly and, and we can all get on the fairy tale. But I just think Manly will be a bit too strong. I just think Doggies just look a bit tired.
Last week, just popped that bubble for me.
Last week against the Sharkies? No, sorry, the Cowboys.
Cowboys
held them up.
Yeah. And then the week before,
they didn't look anywhere didn't look close to the Cowboys. At least with the Manly, they kind of fought back a little bit.
Because I think before the Manly game, I'm pretty sure they hadn't conceded 30 all year, and then they did it back to back weeks.
Yeah.
So they probably are running out of puff.
With a very similar game plan too. Just through the front door.
Yeah.
Through the front door.
I'm pretty, just on vibe, I'm pretty confident they won't fall off too badly next year. It should go the other way, surely.
I don't know. It's weird. We've seen so many teams do this where they have this great year and then they fall off. For some reason, it feels different.
It just does.
Do the Bulldogs pick up RCG?
I don't know. I'm not. Just depends how much he's asking, really. Depends how much he's asking.
I feel like a little bit of beef in the Bulldogs pack wouldn't be too bad.
Didn't they sign a big fella?
They signed, is it Tupanua? Did they?
Yeah, Satilli.
Satilli.
Yeah. I think he'll be really good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Satilli through the middle. I'd be interested to see what they do with him.
Well, yeah, someone's going to have to.
Because they're not, kick out Preston. They're not moving those two.
Not moving the edges.
I've always kind of liked Satilli through the middle, and he's definitely big enough for a front row in today's game.
He's skillful too.
Yeah, so I wonder whether they've looked at him and said, you're actually like a really good modern front rower. Going to be interesting to see how, as long as Tilly can stay injury free, you're laughing. He's a bloody good player. Cowboys v Knights. Bradman Best is out. Jeez.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's a shame, actually. Again, another one. These injury finals injuries suck.
Just I don't know whether it had a knock-on effect or whatever, but I still cannot believe after Origin he had tightness in his hammy and they played him anyway. And I understand that he did his other hammy, but it's it's all connected. If you're
what is it, his fifth hammy tweak this year?
It's his fifth hammy. But so after Origin, he had tightness in his hammy and they still let him play. And so in the game he did his other hammy. And I know people go, well, it's his other hammy, but it all matters. You compensate.
Exactly.
What happens is if I do this hammy, or it's if this is tight, guess what? I put more load on this hammy that's good because I'm compensating because that's weaker. And then, boom, this is too much load on this hammy, and then it goes.
I mean, in my mind, it's not even a conversation. If he's already got pre-existing history of hammy injuries, it's
gone.
The moment he says anything about his hammies, nah.
If he even thinks about his hammy being tight, I'm ruling him out. Honestly, not just for that week. I'm seriously considering, because what is the age-old adage with hammies? The week you feel it's good, give it another week. I would go as far as like, if he comes back from Origin and going, my hammy's tight, I'd nearly be tempted to not play him the following week as well, because it's just like now 5 hammies, bro. They're going to need a miracle for that to not continue to be an issue through the rest of his career.
Yeah.
I think, the NRL physio said it something like, if you do it, you got like a 30% chance.
It keeps increasing.
Yeah.
Recurring, yeah.
That's why I like the fact that he said that he had hammy tightness, and even if he was sitting there going, I'm playing, I don't care what anyone says, like, I want to play. That's not it's the coach's job to go, no, you're not, bro.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Yeah.
You're just
got to
not.
go in on that hard too, because he's a powerful, athletic player.
He's not. He hasn't built his game around being a fucking Datsun. He's a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like, if he was a 45 tackles a game, not explosive, slow, you could get away with it. He's not. He relies on explosive muscle mass.
Yeah.
Bizarre to me. And look, I get that it's easy for us to say, I would have rested him here and here. Our jobs aren't on the line. Like, we're not the ones that if you lose 2 games, you don't make the finals, and therefore you're sitting there going, oh, well, I'm out of a job. However, like, surely there's enough information now to go, especially with soft tissue injuries like that, it's just not worth the risk.
Especially because it's not just this year. Like, it happened last year as well.
Yeah.
So.
And it's soft tissue as well. Like, it'd be different if it was like, I don't know, he had an AC injury and it wasn't soft tissue. It was just a pain management one. And you could see how he went. Like, this is soft tissue. Like, it's...
I don't know if it's our experience, but it's not rocket science. If someone with pre-existing hammy injuries says they've got tightness, it's over. It's not even a question.
I don't get it.
Bros, if you even... The fact that you've said that you've got hammy tightness, it's like, no, mate. It's like, it's over. And if you didn't want anyone to know, or you didn't want to not play, don't say anything about your hammy. Yep. The fact that he said that is like the biggest red flag you can have.
Oh, mate, no, do not get... And, like, he just played 48, like, whatever hours before, that one Wednesday. But the Cowboys, look, don't count any team out with KP in it, I think. Like, I think people are underestimating Newcastle's grittiness and their ability to make it dirty and tough. However, I just think the Cowboys have...
It's Cowboys to lose.
I think it's Cowboys for sure. Like, I think they've found how they play their footy. Like, I think they've gone, you know what? Really quick ruck speed through the middle, get inside their 20, and we'll find some points because we've got such good attack. I just think the Knights... I don't even know if the Knights have enough points in them to beat the Cowboys. Like, if they could only score 14 or essentially 12 against the Dolphins, whose defence is okay, do they have enough points to beat the Cows?
Yeah, not if the Cows are on. And that's... We said it before, but... Like, kind of the opposite with the Storm. Every time I think the Cowboys are going to win... They shit the bed, basically.
I know.
Like, that Broncos game a few weeks ago just came out of nowhere.
Bizarre. And then the, like, scraping by a Melbourne reserve grade side, you're going far out. But I don't know. I think they know how to play now. I think...
There's a bit of buzz.
Yeah, a bit of buzz.
Home.
Just 3 games. Boys, I just need 3 games out of you. Look, the 4th game in the grand final, if we get touched up, who gives a shit? Like, just give me 3 games. That's it. 3 games. You can have your time off.
It is true, because, like, Cowboys didn't win the comp in 2017, but we always talk about the Cowboys in 2017.
Like, always talk about it. So we'll see. Alrighty. Menu log. Jerome Hughes was our hungriest player this week. Use code HUGHES for $7 off Indian. Minimum spend is $20 on Menu log. Ben Hunt and the Dragons. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, Ben Hunt was recently told a proposed contract extension would also be taken off the table for the moment. He was reportedly one of the several players who were told that their performance during the final month of the season went up to standard. The article said his performance, including his defence, kicking game and leadership, when his team's final hopes hung in the balance, were not befitting of his standing in the side. Yeah, very interesting times at the Dragons because RCG, so it comes out, Flanagan well, basically it says we're not interested in RCG anymore. And then a day or so later, it comes out, well, actually, RCG said that he wasn't interested. And I just wonder here with the Ben Hunt situation that Ben Hunt has said, I'm not re-signing after 2025. I'm done. And so Dragons have gotten the front foot and just like come out and said basically, Because like,
fair enough.
Yeah, I didn't consider that. Yeah,
why would you come out? Why would this be released to the public?
Yeah, and it's so specific.
It's super specific.
Yeah, I think at 100 makes sense what you're
and
saying.
You reckon, like, why would you put Ben Hunt offside when you already nearly lost him the year before? Like,
True.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, okay, let's bag it. Like, I get it. Ben Hunt didn't play great towards the back end of the year. He still helped lift your club from friggin' bottom of the table to nearly top 8.
Yeah.
A few bad games. Okay, who else is on the market? Like, for you to be so sure that already at the end of 2024, you're not offering him a contract in 2026, who's on the market that's like, just doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes sense what you said, though.
Yeah.
What makes sense to me is Ben Hunt has gone, I'm not going to resign here. Once my contract's done, I'm out. And I think the Dragons, just like the RCG situation, have got on the front foot and basically said, no, we're the ones that have said you're not interested.
And Ben Hunt saying that wouldn't be shocking. Like, just a year ago, he wanted to bounce.
What's crazy is we've heard Ben Hunt say he wants to leave. We've never heard him say, I want to stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like we've never heard him come out and say, you know what, I've spoken to Flano and I love it here now and I want to extend my contract.
Yeah,
See him going back to Queensland.
I think, I don't know, just this whole, and also Ben Hunt, the kind of bloke he is this helpful to the club? Like, how the hell does this help the club by putting your captain and your best player on show publicly for no reason? Like, all of this
time at the Dragons.
All of this can be said internally to Ben Hunt. You weren't good enough in the back end of the year. We need to work on this, this, and this. Instead, you put your best player on show, like not your best player this year, but essentially your best player, like long term, on show in the media. Like, so Ben Hunt's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely re-signing now.
Yeah. You've
just fucking bagged me to the media and leaked all this shit.
Like there's leaks all the time in rugby league, but I can't remember a review being this specific being leaked about the star player ever.
Why would you want to stay as a player when that shit's getting out?
Yeah.
Like, what? It's just as I said, just position. I personally think it's the fact that he's already going to leave. And they're just trying to position it like
front foot, control the narrative.
Control the narrative. Well, actually, we told him to leave because he's not playing good footy, and so the fans go, yeah, he's shit. He wasn't playing good footy. And granted, like the back end of the season, he didn't have the best month, but like, come on, guys, let's not. Benny Hunt.
Imagine the Dragons' last few years without Benny Hunt.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's not pretend Benny Hunt hasn't given his fucking left nut for this club over the last 4 or 5 years.
Recruitment wise.
Yeah, I actually don't mind how much they've been in the market and moving and shaking. So I think what you'll see with the Dragons is a lot more stuff like this, like a lot more kind of ruthless media management, which I don't mind because if this is how Flano operates and he keeps getting these results, then fucking good on him. Like if he wants to be ruthless and control narratives, at the end of the day, fans just want to win. And if that's how they get the wins, fuck, good on him. I mean, look how ruthless the Panthers are. They are super ruthless.
Yeah, they are.
But Panthers fans sit there and go, hey, man, we're winning premierships. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I know I often harp on about, I harp on because I care about, I just care about the truth. Like, for example, what frustrates me with clubs sometimes, and I understand why they do it, their main priority isn't the players, it's the club. So I get it. So I'm not sitting here saying I'm silly like that, but my frustration sometimes with the club is if they were just honest. And so, let's say there was a certain player at a club and the player wanted to stay and he's loved by the fans, but the club was like, look, we got a bunch of young guys that are like less than half your wage. We're not going to offer you a contract because we're going to trust in these young guys. They may not be as good as you, but they're like way cheaper. I would rather the club just come out and say that then leak to the media, we offered him 700K.
Yeah, there's definitely an unfortunate mentality where the club is always trying to protect the club.
Yeah.
As opposed to be transparent. It is a shame.
Because what happens is the club, they paint the narrative that he's money hungry and greedy. And so all the fans, they start leaving comments going, oh, you just out here for money. And the players going, I wasn't even offered a contract.
Club wins that battle every time. In terms of perception.
Every time.
Their voice is so much louder than an individual player trying to back themselves.
And what do you win as a player by coming out and saying they never offered me a contract? It was never about the money. I would have taken it.
Everyone will turn on you, bro.
Everyone will turn on you. All other clubs will be like, well, I'm not dealing with him because he'll come out and spill more fucking.
It's a lose-lose.
And also, the club that you're playing at will just start leaking more stuff. Be like, just to muddy the waters. And as I said, I get it. Like the club, their number one priority is to win and to build the club up. So I understand it. And I also understand from a fan's perspective. It's like I support this club to win. That's I love the players, but I want my club to win. So I get it. I just sometimes wish there was a bit more clarity, because I think that most fans are they don't get treated intelligently. I think most fans are intelligent enough to understand if a club came out and said, see this superstar that you all love, we love him too, but we got this guy that's 18 years old that is on way less money, and the way we balance our salary cap, we're not going to pay 700 grand for an edge back rower. Most fans are intelligent enough to go, look, I probably disagree. I feel like he is worth that, but I understand.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. The salary cap, it's hard to balance. I get it. And if we end up winning from those decisions, the Penrith are a perfect example. Beloved players have left, but Penrith fan goes, we love those players, but we're still winning. So we have to say that the club's doing the right thing.
But every time a South player's left and you hear it's because they offered him X amount and South couldn't match it because of their cap, and then South come out and certain players have left South and South CEO come out and said, oh, we're not going to mortgage our club for certain players. As a fan, I'm like, oh, okay, I get that.
Yeah,
that makes complete sense to me.
That's what I mean.
And then I'm not off the player. Yeah. And then I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. Whereas if you're getting told constantly the player's money hungry, you're like, oh, how could you do our club like that? And it's just like, fans are intelligent now. It's not like the old days where, like, fans obviously were intelligent in the old days, but they didn't have access to the information they have access to now. Fans have access to information. They understand salary cap. They understand how hard it is to keep certain players. They understand way more about the game than I think personally a lot of clubs give them credit for. Yeah. Well, not necessarily clubs, maybe the media. I don't know, whoever it is, but I just think fans are more intelligent than a lot of people think. And I see it. I see it in comment sections all the time. Like, some takes from fans are fucking outstanding. Yeah. Like, super in depth, things that you wouldn't have even thought of, because there's so much access to information in rugby league now. Alrighty, don't forget KO Catch the NRL Finals on KO this week. Every game is super important now that we have hit finals time. Catch the games live and ad-free during play on KO. Kotoni Staggs reportedly wants to stay at the Broncos long term. The Broncos have yet to table a new deal for him. They have 7 weeks before he can go on the open market. Reece Walsh and Selwyn Cobbo come off contract at the end of next season. Yeah, Kotoni Staggs one's interesting. It really just depends on, obviously, how much he's demanding. I guess the worry with Staggsy is that, he had defensively, has his issues, but I don't know whether that's him or it's the defensive system that's been put in place, because obviously it was decent last year. But with Staggs, it's just the amount of work he gets through in a game. When he has 15 carries, he is one of the best players on the field. When he has 6 runs in a game, it's just like you can't pay a bloke $700K to have 7 carries in a game. So that's really, like Staggs as a bloke, Staggs at his best, Staggs that's having 15 runs, mate, absolutely you're signing him every day of the week.
Yeah. And it sounds like, just reading between the lines, like he obviously wants to stay. As long as the Broncos offer him a fair enough contract, I get the sense that he will.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the Broncos are going to probably be in a position where they have to choose. There's no way they're going to afford Staggs and Selwyn. There's just no way. And then you got Reece Walsh as well.
Walsh, that's the other one.
So they're probably going to have to go. Like a lot of people will probably compare Staggs more to Herbie. And the reason why Herbie's so valuable is that, Staggs' ceiling is probably at his best. Like, Staggs' best game is you could say it's maybe a little bit better than Herbie's.
Yeah.
But Herbie, he's giving you 8 out of 10 every game.
And his work is ridiculous.
Yeah. Ridiculous. And so with Staggs, if you could get that work rate, then, mate, 100%. 100%. But that's a lot of people that felt that Broncos should have kept Herbie. It was because of the work rate. It was the amount of hard stuff that he got through.
Hard to let Herbie go.
Look, to be fair, the Broncos' defense, he hadn't had his breakout year yet. He signed with the Dolphins, then he exploded.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
But you could say, I think at some of the better recruited, the clubs that have killed it for a long time. For example, I think the Storm would have probably seen the value in Herbie over some other players because they look for different things than other clubs. With Staggs, it's just about it's just a work rate. And in the games where if you just take defense out of it and you look at how intense he was, even when we were having some really poor performance towards the back end of the year. He was like pretty much our only player that was like fully ripping it, or one of them at least. So I did really appreciate that from Kotoni. But yeah, it's just the work rate and how much it'll cost, and then also probably having to choose between Selwyn and
tough choices.
It's a tough choice.
Not a player you want to lose
tough.
at his best.
But the funny thing is like Selwyn's in the same box. Like Selwyn at his best, you're keeping him every day of the week. But Selwyn also has a tendency sometimes, and if he's got other things going on or whatever, he can be a bit quiet in games. So it's a tough choice. But I do like the fact that Staggs has openly been like, I want to stay. He clearly loves the club.
You'd love that as a fan.
You love to hear that. Whereas like when you're hearing blokes going, I'm going to test the open market, and they don't really care whether they stay or not. You're almost like, well, okay, I don't want you to be here. Yeah. Like I love to hear that he wants to stay.
Yeah.
But what else is going on this weekend, boys?
Well, I'm going to Penrith. I have to face the music tonight.
Hey.
So I have to sit in the, because I lost tipping, so I have to sit in the chook pen.
Yeah.
For tonight's game, which I'm absolutely dreading. But it'll be cool to go out to Penrith. I think it's the last game of the stadium before they knock it down.
I had more of a think about the tips and that. And I actually think it's bullshit that Guru gets to just tip without having a team.
Yeah.
It's a disadvantage.
I thought that as well.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that as well.
That's bullshit.
Because he tried to claim that he was at the most disadvantage because that's complete false.
That's rubbish.
What was he saying his disadvantage
So
was?
I tried it. So I was joking with Matty, and I was like, this is bullshit. Like my Broncos have gone terrible this year, and I always pick them because like I'm a dog if I don't. So you're losing, like you're not picking with your head, you're picking with your heart.
Yeah.
Whereas Guru doesn't have a team. And so I was thinking about it, and he tried to make out like, well, I don't have a team. That's even worse. How's it worse?
It's so much better.
It's so much better.
What's his argument for it being worse?
No, I don't know whether he was joking. He might have been joking with the big fella.
Surely.
Because, like, for example, against the Melbourne Storm in the last round, I picked Broncos. Like, come on. Did I really think the Broncos were winning that game? Like, of course I didn't think they were winning that game. And so, I don't know. I think we need to have a tinker there.
Guru tax.
Because so Timmy, he always has to, he has picked other sides, but any time that it's like, let's say it's in Timmy's head, he thinks that like there's a 60-40 split. He'll always just go with the Raiders side because that's his team.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the only way to do this fairly is it sounds like everyone has got a team. Everyone is picking their team. So you've got to nominate your team at the start of the year, and that's an automatic pick.
Or
true.
The games that it is your team, you get a discount on it in the tipping round. It doesn't count or something along those lines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that way,
so you knock one out.
If you take one out of it, and we only let's say so there's 8 picks a week, so only 7 out of your 8 picks count that week.
Yep.
Because that way you get a more fair representation of. So for example, the Broncos game doesn't count for me. The Rabbitohs game doesn't count for Raiders, Tigers.
Who do we think Guru's team would be?
He had to guess. No, but see what we would do is that we would just take one of his picks away.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, let's just say, so we've got Broncos, Souths, Raiders. It's not like we're going for the Storm, right?
Yeah.
So,
he's not having Storm.
If Guru comes in with a team that's like, then I feel like it's almost funner to just back your team.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll have to ask him who his team is.
Yeah.
But it has to be a bottom 8 side because all our teams are bottom 8.
I reckon the fairest way to do it is to just, for the whole year, remove, for example, the Saturday 3 p.m. game for him. Just remove one time slot, just so it's completely
He's got a
even.
nominated team.
Yeah,
he'll pick Penrith.
Yeah, you could just pick one of the top like sides that he thinks is going to go well. I reckon if you only ever took 7 out of the 8 tips, that's probably if you just removed one game was removed.
Yeah.
To the boys, if anyone's got any dirt or has a suspicion that Guru may actually have a team or be a big fan of a team.
Mate, we have tried forever. He reckons, there's no way. But anyway, something I'm going to bring up with Hammy the ref. I think about Hammy, for example.
Oh, poor Hammy. He tips the Tigers every week.
He tips the Tigers every week because he loves them. And he finished only like 10 points behind. You telling me those 10 points. So I'm actually demanding a recount.
Wow.
I'm demanding a recount because it's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
This bloke picks the Rabbitohs every week. They fucking nearly won the spoon at one point.
The greatest line is, I'm actually at a disadvantage.
He full said that.
So write that on the show notes for Monday, Matty.
Yeah.
We need a fucking recount in this joint because that's bullshit. That like we are just going with our team blindly, and he gets to pick just fresh.
Hack the system.
We shouldn't be punished for our teams having a poor year.
Yeah, and also I lost by like 3 points. Over the whole year.
And
are you telling me?
And there's 16 available points each
every week. So you're telling me that I wouldn't have won it if I was just picking with my head each week.
Well, if you went Storm, that's 2 points, and that's the last game.
That's the last game. So there's your 2 points. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I tipped against South 13+1s, and that was just to get a reaction. But every other week, I'm at least South with the line, at least.
Yeah. So look, I demand a recount. I demand. I think that I actually did win the year. Put it this way, you know what? I demand a recount, and we go back and take out all my Broncos tips, and then just take out one of his tips each week.
Yep.
So we just do 7. We recount everything, but it's on 7 out of 8 each week, and see who won.
And you take out the Broncos one.
So I take out my Bronco one, and then he just has to take out one. So all you do is just count 7 of his tips. We'll see who won. We'll see who won.
How would you take out his one? Randomised?
Just probably
randomised,
just to be fair. And, or maybe even like a team like that was one close, like someone that finished like 11th where the Broncos finished 12th.
Yeah.
Like, so the 11th team will just take that one tip out of it. Yeah. And that would be a good way to see who won.
I'll check who came 11th. It would have been
Dragons or something.
I think you'll get there.
Surely.
It'd be close. It'd be good.
Yeah,
it
was Dragons.
So take out his Dragon tip each, throughout the year.
They didn't get it done, I reckon, because Dragons it would have been hard to tip at times.
Yeah. So there we go. There we fucking go. We've sorted out.
Trump, revote.
Recount.
Been jibbed.
Mate, it's all been jibbed. And you know what? I was, because that's the funny thing. I was thinking about it, like, I don't know, yesterday or something. And especially when he said he was at a disadvantage. I was like, the fuck? Hang on. On the show, I didn't think about it because we just kept flowing. But then I was like, hang on a sec. That's outrageous.
Yeah. I was the same because I cut a bit of it that night and put it on social. And then I heard it again. And that's when I was like, that is outrageous thing to say.
I mean, as I said, put it this way, I demand a recount. It might not even be me that wins. It could be Hammy.
Seriously could be, yeah.
It seriously could be Hammy because he only lost by like, let's just say 10 points. And he backs the Tigers every week.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be Hammy.
Could be Hammy.
So there's controversy. There's controversy with Face of Music, even though he's about to be punished for it. The recount. So if you get punished for it and we do a recount and you don't come last.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
If I have to sit in the truck bed for no reason, I'm going to be furious.
Listen, man, our partners, you're making sports better, partner happy. So that's always good.
No, I'm actually keen to go out. It's I like Penrith Stadium, and as I said, they're about to knock it down, so it's a bit of history being there for the last game. Get to see Cleary play, so I'm keen.
Cleary is getting into those areas, isn't he? Where you go, I got to see Cleary play.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and he's what, 26, 27?
26, bro.
26, actually, yeah. Far out.
That's crazy.
3 premierships.
Like, I watch it on TV now, and I see Joey, and I'm just like, if I could go back in time and just watch a game. Like, I did see him a few times when I was a kid, so I don't really remember that. Didn't appreciate it that much, but seeing Cleary now, Turbo's another one. He's just like, fuck, so good.
Far out. Oh, man. Cannot wait. Alrighty. That is us done and dusted. Pack her up, boys. Don't forget, Monday, 6 p.m, set your alarms. Turn your frown upside down. And make sure to get down to Grouse Hill, Air Locker. And as usual, grab a case of bloke beer. Turn up the family mates at good times. As usual, we'll go and fuck ourselves. Thank you.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.